Welcome to the Building Code. Zach here.
Charlie Burtwhistle.
And today we have Brad Dinan, Buildertrend employee here in the product team with an update with some exciting new things coming down the pipeline from our software, which is, ultimately why people are here.
That's why we're here at the end of the day.
Sure. Brad, we were just talking before we went on air. Never been on a podcast before.
This is my first time. I did want to mention that I've got a couple offers from Barstool Sports and Joe Rogan. Had to turn those down. Wanted this to be the first one, so
appreciate
glad
that.
we can make it happen.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah.
We're constantly fighting
the caliber.
Guys, yeah.
So, we appreciate you making time for us. We know you're really busy. Tell us a little bit about your role at Buildertrend. And we've had a few of your peers from the product team, but maybe give us a little background on your Buildertrend story.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, been here about 5.5 years. Started in the customer success department, like a lot of people in our product department. So, kind of got the insights of training users, onboarding them, how to use the software, figuring out pain points, trying to get past those pain points, removing as many blockers as we can just from our users' workflow. So, I found myself 2.5 years into that role, just getting very passionate about user problems and how we can make their experience better in the platform, honestly. So with the help of a couple senior leaders, Scott Siegert and Eric Fisher, I don't know if you guys know them or have ever heard of them, but
I've heard of them a couple times.
Who?
They're
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, a couple guys that are kind of around here.
My current boss.
Yeah,
never heard of him.
Yeah. But had some conversations with them, and they really kind of wanted me to take that next step kind of towards, product. They thought that the way I was working and kind of questioning things was more so kind of geared towards a product role. So I don't know if that was just them pushing me out of the customer success.
That's how it goes, honestly,
Now that I think about it and say it out loud, but regardless.
Why do you think Zach's on the podcast, the podcast right now? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a week-long roast session from Charlie, and I'm not sure where the heat's coming from, so just buckle up. It's all in good fun.
It comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
That's an awesome background, though, and I do love that that's kind of Buildertrend's frame of reference is like if you're in a position, you're talking to customers and something isn't the way they want it, instead of just avoiding it, you steer into it and you're like, well, we'll just fix it.
Yep.
So the big reason you're here today is to talk about the new summary page. Just launched. What kind of prompted, you guys have been working on it for a while. It's a huge update. It's awesome. Where did this kind of start? You talk about customer problems. Is that something you were hearing a lot, or where did this come from and kind of how's it going?
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, we weren't hearing, this update wasn't kind of more so like hearing customer feedback and saying, this isn't the right solution. This isn't helping me do my job on a daily basis. It's more that we had that big React conversion going on, and we had to get this page converted over into that new React framework so we could honestly do a lot cooler things with it, honestly, and gear it more towards our users. So Charlie's going to love this, but we pulled a bunch of data around. Had to mention that. So we pulled a bunch of it, extremely low usage, if any, on the existing solution. We pulled some heat maps and things like that. And the only thing that we were seeing was people were landing on that page and then
leaving,
navigating off of it. So that was very easy for us to basically say, hey, let's take a look at all the feedback we've gotten over the years, really kind of story map out what we think would be beneficial from a landing page perspective for our users, and then just started building out that solution. So again, very easy for us to do that, but our main goal when we were kind of designing this new page was just providing more of a personalized experience for each individual user, and honestly, just helping them prioritize their day more efficiently.
Before we kind of go a little bit further, I think it's really interesting to hear how you guys go through the decisions you make. We don't just, I think the perception can be, we just tweak it, change it. Yep. Like you do extensive research and validating, and you actually put it in front of users and observe their behaviors and really dive deep into like what are the actual common workflows that people would expect in a software, and that's what prompted this change, right?
Yeah, exactly. So again, we knew that we had an existing solution that just was not meeting the needs of our users and what they were trying to do on a daily basis. So very easy for us to take a step back and kind of start with a blank slate. That's really what this new landing page is. I do want to make that clear. This is more of a starting point. We have plans to we just had to get this thing converted over into that new React framework, and now we're able to actually look at it and maybe tailor it towards different roles based upon feedback and data and things like that that we're getting. So it's really cool to have this new page that initially, honestly, is providing more value than the original one did. But again, it's just a starting point. So you guys are going to see a lot more things that are going to make our users more efficient and help them prioritize.
Yeah, just from a product standpoint. And the way we think about, like when I look at an app, it is kind of like your first impression,
right?
As when you log in and like what you see, and you can make a decision. Like when I log into QuickBooks, it's kind of like, ugh. Just shout out Intuit on the pod. So, what's your perspective as a product person on that landing page experience, Brad?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's honestly the key area. Again, like you said, first thing that someone sees when they log in. So it's the key area that really is just going to give that user the overall landscape of what's going on. We know that people, for the most part, are not managing 1 or 2 jobs in here. It's more 5, 6, 10, whatever the case may be at that point. So aggregating all that information, and then we know that either the user that's logging in or their teammates are setting deadlines for things to get done. It's a very simple concept, but we are basically elevating that information for those users so they know, hey, if something's past due, typically past due is a negative connotation with that, so you probably want to go ahead and take care of that first. So again, very simple decisions kind of made just to elevate, hey, based upon timing, assignments to you, and then kind of seeing that overall landscape of what the team's doing and how things are changing. Again, very easy for us to design this new experience and just push them towards those things based upon deadlines that they've already set up. So,
Charlie, next time you're late to a meeting, just say you're past due.
Past due to the meeting.
Yeah.
Zach was past due to showing up to the podcast today, like 5 minutes
That's
late.
true, yeah.
See what I mean? Like, this is going to be all day, folks. I love the idea. So the new landing page is actually going to go from, like, as you said before, you land there, you navigate away from it, but now they'll actually be able to kind of prioritize their day, one-stop shop as soon as they log in.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we're surfacing every entity that we have in the program. You can basically, for the most part, set a deadline on. So if we can aggregate all that information, get it in front of that specific user who it's assigned to, we're not necessarily saying, hey, start here, start with to-dos. Right. It's more or less, here's everything that you have. Pick and choose where you want to start based upon your needs, and obviously what needs to get done in the program. So we're going to trust you to make that decision. But if we can elevate everything that you have on your landscape so you can see the entire picture, it's a lot easier to make those decisions.
I think low key, one of the things that I'm most excited about on the update is you guys took the feed from the mobile app and put it into the desktop version. And I know it's not necessarily on our notes here of things to talk about, but it is really nice to be able to like look at the job and see what was my team doing and like collaborating on. I mean, was that a conscious, like, we want to make sure we get that usability here too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember conversations when I was down in CS with all my clients. They're like, I need to see what's going on. I don't need to, I get these notifications and things like that, but if I have to sift through 20 emails and kind of figure out exactly what's moving and what happened when, that's a lot tougher than having that activity feed that kind of just lays out everything that the team's doing, everything that's moving. And if you see something that maybe shouldn't be moving in that direction, you're able to identify it and stop it a lot quicker.
Yeah, so I think it matches the types of personas that are using the program. To your point, like looking at roles and the way that works. Well, now it's like if you're an owner, you can log into the job and see the most recent notification, whether it was relevant to you. But also, like if you're a field crew member, you need to see like, did the schedule get adjusted? Is there a scope change? Whatever. Like it's also in a nice, convenient way, both mobile and desktop now.
And a really cool thing that I'm hoping people know with that activity feed is they can go ahead and save filters and things like that. So if they have certain reports that they want to pull when they log in or kind of see certain, maybe just the daily logs for the past week or whatever it is, they're able to set that up and just click a toggle and kind of change that reporting structure pretty easily there and alter that content that they're
So it's got some customizability to it as well. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that some people may think that that's like a really small change. But at the end of the day, a ton of small changes add up to, improved workflow, improved productivity, like get more stuff done faster, better.
Did you read that in like a fortune cookie or something?
Snapple lid, yeah. So when you guys are thinking about it, how do you kind of keep that in mind where like, this may seem like a small change, but it's going to have a huge impact, down the road. Yeah,
so we're actually changing the way that we're working upstairs. So I'm going to kind of contradict myself a little bit here. So don't hold me to it. But I
think our last product person, Austin, maybe said something similar, like, well, we've traditionally done it this way, but we are, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're completely fine. So yeah, we're not so much focused on making these complete overhaul changes with that new way that we're working. Yes, we did do a complete overhaul of this new landing page. That's where I contradict myself. But again, like I said, it's really just to give ourselves that starting point, and then we're able again to use quantitative data. Shout out Charlie again to make those more
Huge
informed.
I love how you stand over at me like it's a
Yeah, you hear that?
I'll say one nice thing about Zach before we leave. Okay, maybe. But again, just instead of having this big master plan of all right, we've got this landing page initiative out there, we're done, let's move on, or maybe we have 4 iterations already planned. Now we're switching the way we work more or less to adapt and kind of change based upon feedback that's coming in. So we're already aggregating feedback around this new landing page, and we may have a plan or assumptions of things that we think that we want to tackle next, but the team has bought into this new process, and they know that that's going to change based upon what we're hearing, what we're seeing, and the plans that we have. Things are just going to shift. And while we kind of looked at that as kind of a negative thing in the past, it's altering our plan that we've been putting together for 8 months. Maybe we should plan it for 1 month, get something out there, and actually get that feedback and start moving a lot quicker and making those decisions and seeing that impact. So I
love it. I think too, when you make some of these changes, if you go long periods of time where you have big sweeping and it's like, whoa, everything changed. This new model, it's iterative. So there's subtle changes, and it's more about enhancing usability and ironing out the details so that the flow for our next new customer is like, wow, this is better than I expected. We're using our customers to inform decisions for future customers, but also for our current customers, they don't feel like, every day it's like something new and I have to relearn it every day.
Yeah. It's way less intrusive than kind of what we've been doing in the past. So, when we make those smaller updates, it really allows our team to dive into kind of what's the value that we're creating for our users. So again, kind of changing the way that we're working in the technology department is we're getting, basically we used to kind of do that planning work and get the information over to our developers and say, hey, you need to do A, B, and C to accomplish this goal. We're pulling those developers in so much earlier to the process and basically saying, here's the value that we're trying to create, and that's sparking so many different conversations, so many things that we wouldn't have thought about up front, and again, allowing us to pivot and say, hey, we have these big plans to do, and it's like, well, what if we just did a small portion of that, see if it's working, if it's not working, and then again, kind of adapt on the go there. So getting the whole team to buy in, I can honestly tell you with this new way that we're working upstairs, I've never seen people so invested in the new process, and it's very exciting for me because I've spoken with so many clients over the years. Know their families and kind of their history, so it's easy for me to reach out now and be like, hey, you've been asking for that, it's we got there, and
I keep my receipts.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I got all those old emails.
I want to be like collaboration. It's an amazing thing.
So with this new workflow, I don't know if you're allowed to spoil anything, but what's next for the team here? Where are we going? What are we going to take advantage of this new workflow for?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're analyzing all the feedback again that we're getting around that new landing page. There's some cool things that we're thinking we're going to do next. I won't mention them yet, so you guys can't hold me to it. But just
it's so you can come back.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Setting myself up, job security and things like that.
Perfect.
But
we once had a guest say they were going to be on 6 or 7 times. Like Frank Blake was like 15 times.
He's been on here a few times.
I'm pretty sure they sent me a reoccurring invite, but I'll have to check it.
Introducing your third host of the Building Code, everybody, Brad Dinan.
Self-proclaimed. But no, we've got some cool things coming with the landing page again, kind of looking at kind of those different roles. We know they have different needs. We know an owner doesn't need to see the same things that a field crew guy sees. So, that's a no-brainer to kind of look at that. But again, that's a pretty big change that we would want to validate over time. So we've also got some cool things in the works. My work stream is specifically called communications engagement, which if you think about it is communications pretty much everything that you're looking at or doing in the program. So no small feat there, but we've got some cool things coming up around notifications. There's some really impactful work. We know that we are sending quite a bit of notifications anytime something shifts in the program, and we're interrupting our users more than we should, honestly. So if we can compile, things that are, here's something that requires your attention and your action right away versus here's maybe a summary at the end of the day with those changes and things like that. So just kind of a sneak peek into things that we're looking into. But
So Brad, as we're diving into kind of this concept of like what you're hearing from our customers, we obviously want our customers to give us feedback. Have you got any specific information on a use case that maybe you've heard of a user that because of this change impacted them in a positive way?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to speak kind of more to that entity counts feature that's right in the middle of the page when you log in. So again, people just really have been wanting a starting point. We have them log into the program, and it's quite a big program with a lot of different features and things like that. So knowing exactly where to start, a lot of our users that are onboarding into the program and things like that kind of get lost up front because there's so much. So kind of putting those things more so in their face that, hey, these are those things that are the most actionable, the most timely things that you have on your plate. That's that starting point that we give them. And we've seen some feedback coming in that, hey, I set up my team in the program. Where do they start? And it's like, well, again, they have these timely and actionable things that are already set up there. They're able to easily view, click, and actually be taken to a list page and kind of do what they need to do next. So,
which is so convenient. You think about the construction industry, obviously busy, a lot of deadlines. Things are happening all the time, and having a way to kind of stay on top of that. And then you think about the coordination between all the people that work in that company. You've got office, you've got field, you've got back end, front end, they're everywhere. Ownership who, is coming in and out. They need to be able to see like who's doing what. And this gives them a tangible kind of hub, which is people love convenience. That's at the end of the day. And I think that's going to be a huge use case for our team or our customers to be able to say like, I can have one place that I can see all this happening and manage it and easily get to the next step without having to just, like you said at the beginning, land on the page and leave.
Yep. Exactly.
I love it.
That's
well,
awesome.
We love having our product friends here on the Building Code.
Yeah.
We're about out of time. Charlie, any last thoughts?
No thoughts. Excited for Brad's next episode, which will be coming up 1 week from today, I guess. No. No.
Yeah, so that notification things will be done next week.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
No, these mini-sodes have been awesome. I feel like every time we get a chance to have someone from product in here, I learn more about our product, more about our process, and I get more and more excited about the things that are coming down the road. So thanks for coming on. And I guess we'll see you guys next week for another episode of The Building Code. I'm Charlie Burtwhistle.
I'm Zach Witovich.